In a video game, if you come across an empty room with a health pack, extra ammo, and a save point, you know some serious shit is about to go down. What is the real-life equivalent of this? HR being present in a meeting you've been invited to. Waking up and having a lot of missed calls from family members. Coming home to all your friends and family but it's not your birthday. In war, before they send you into your likely death, they'd often feed you much better than usual. The Navy does steak and lobster and/or breaks out the ice cream when deployment is about to be extended. When all the higher-ups suddenly start taking their accumulated vacations. That's when you know the company is about to blow and it's time to find a job before you find yourself without one. Take a seat. Shut the door. Is it okay if I shut the door first? From the original comment I can now only imagine someone dragging the chair to get to the door. Shut it. Then drag it back to get in front of the person speaking. All happening in a large echoing room with several silent businessmen. This is why we're firing you, Smith. Why? Because I perform tasks in the order they're given to me? That's why you don't hire programmers. Take a seat. Shut the door. Everybody walk the dinosaur? Note. My ability to remember lyrics is unreliable. Turn on your TV. What channel? Doesn't matter. Inspired by a Reddit comment. Follow up doctor's appointment after a medical test, and the receptionist tells you to bring a friend when they schedule the visit. This happened to my wife. Long story short. Cancer. She has been cancer-free for 15 years after treatment. As a child, knowing that you've done something you shouldn't have, and as you eat dinner your parents suddenly go silent and look at you. We're getting a divorce. And before you start to question if it's your fault, I just want to make it clear here and now, it's absolutely your fault, you ungrateful shit. Someone you don't know asks for you, using your full name. It's usually a semi-government agency, and it's never free cupcakes. Walking into a classroom and everyone has buried their noses into the textbooks instead of chatting. When you do something you know you're supposed to be in trouble for but your mom is all quiet and sad but nice to you. If you're a kid in a hospital and you get a visit from the Avengers, well. When you are walking through the woods and everything gets silent. No crickets, no birds, nothing. They've recognized two creatures are in the area that won't get along well. One is you and hopefully the second remains a mystery. Then out of the corner of your eye you spot him. Shia LaBeouf. When your coworkers are super busy and you're just kinda not busy, but every time you go to take work off their hands or pick up projects, they say no, it's fine. I can take care of it. And then your work starts getting offloaded onto them, as well. When someone hits you with the "we need to talk" text. I got come by my office, we need to talk from my boss once. I was like, well, this is it, I'm getting fired. Turns out he wanted to tell me that he didn't feel they gave me enough of a raise at my annual review and he was throwing in an extra bonus. A colleague of mine got the "come to my office now" from the CEO. Turns out the CEO just wanted to show him Ahmed the dead terrorist. Haha, I would never be so glad to see that fucking puppet. Call me. Those two words are enough to fill me with dread every time. No. You're left with nothing but horrible worst-case scenario thoughts until you talk to them. One of the worst longest feelings ever. Got one of these from my wife a while ago. I texted her what's going on. No answer. I get home later that day, she wanted to rearrange the living room furniture. Why in the fuck didn't you just text me, hey, what do you think about rearranging the living room furniture? Right. Now the furniture's in the right place, sit down. We need to talk. Your boss asks for meeting on Friday at 5 p.m. That's not the health pack room, that's already the battle music. Middle of the day, the sky turns green. When a friend who's been struggling with depression for a while suddenly brightens up, becomes very generous, or wants to get all their friends together for a party etc. They're saying goodbye. Seeing a suspiciously huge amount of policemen strolling around. Walking through HR to a meeting room that's been booked for you. Your parents take you to a nice dinner before some family news edit. Just wanted to say holy shit, I think that's the most upvoted comment of mine ever. My parents did this to me when they found my cigarettes when I was 17 and told me they'd stop paying for my car if I continued to smoke. You're adopted. They are coming in an hour. Coming in early for a quick chat with your boss and all the partners are there. When the company you work for hires consultants to take an unbiased outside look at the company and maybe offer a few suggestions how we can improve and find hidden potential for streamlining our processes. Water in the beach retreats dozens of yards inexplicably. When the person in the white coat firmly, yet calmly, asks you to take a seat. My fave was an ultrasound on a suspected torn shoulder. Tech hit a certain point then let out a huge hiss between her teeth. But couldn't tell me anything because she can't interpret data, tore the shit out of my rotator. Oh, dat shoulder is fucked, what? Nothing. Your doctor wants to see you in person to discuss the results. Professionally. When the judge starts a hearing by silently reading the papers in front of him, her while scowling in your direction. Personally. You're so acts shifty before saying, we need to talk. I walk into the interview room, there's a glass of water on the table with a full Brita filter next to it O_O. Classic bladder test. If you can finish the interview without going to the bathroom, you're hired. Air raid sirens on a nice summer day. When I was first dating my now wife, we got tested for STDs at the same time. When we went back for the results, we went into separate rooms, and 5 minutes later she walked by, gave me a thumbs up and said I'll wait in the waiting room. The doctor left me there for 15 minutes. 15 minutes during which I became more and more convinced that my ill-spent youth had resulted in me picking up something terrible, every minute getting more convinced it was HIV. Complete dread, thinking out how I'd explain to my friends and family, how I'd spend the rest of my time. AIDS was still a death sentence, unless you were a pro basketball player. Finally I walked out and asked for the doctor. Oh, you're still here? All clear. Have a nice day. When a courier asks you to sign for a package, and it's a manila envelope. 4 new voicemails, 45 plus new massages on your phone and the door suddenly rings. Edit. Thank you for making one of the worst feelings my highest rated comment. That's a dedicated pizza man.